Maybe movies.
Remember, all in the lips, forever in the hips.
But it's air.
And butter.
Thanks for reading that for me.
I'll tell you what, let me take those.
Please do.
If you were with us on Wednesday, it is with a very, very heavy head that I say, fuck you both.
So it was BadMoonRising, was it?
Apparently it is BadMoonRising. I think I know where my mistake is.
Oh, thank you.
I remember hearing the line about there being a bad moon on the right when I was a kid, and for some reason figured that was the title of the song.
Can we not add a wah, 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 like in the edit for you bit? You know.
We can do that.
Okay, great.
But that really depends on who's editing and how he's feeling at the time.
Oh, right, yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Like that, yeah.
He's going to re-edit now that he was right all along.
Yeah.
Go back and find Creedence Clearwater Revival and go, yeah, that's a good title, but do you think, because people for years will be going, huh? Do you think it'll work?
No, probably not.
Good, whatever it is where you are.
Howdy ho.
Hey.
I suppose we should say kind of like Bon Appetit, because this goes out at about midday, so if you're watching this as it goes out, then I hope you're having a healthy and tasty lunch.
Yum, yum, yum.
But not a hot lunch.
A sandwich or?
Oh. What you like?
I blame the parents. Hello, and thanks for joining us again. As you will know, if you've been following us this month, that we are about to have a look at Act 2 of our new vision of An American Werewolf in London, which is called An American Werewolf in the Dark. And we've taken some of the ideas and themes from American Werewolf in London, but set them against the setting and backdrop of the 1987 fantastic film Near Dark. We did Act 1 on Wednesday, so we're now about to go into Act 2. As we normally do, we will do a shout-out first, for which I am going to hand you over to the capable hands of Mr. Chris Smith.
Yes, thank you, Max. There's a film that's coming out on November the 19th, beg your pardon, directed by James Campbell, called 1986. It's a crossover film between The Punisher and Batman. For those of you who are Batman fans, please give it a check out on YouTube. Poster here. Yes. And, yes, please give it a watch. The reason I'm mentioning it is because I'm helping producer, associate producer of the film.
Actually, thinking about it, the poster might be over here because of where he is on the screen.
Good idea. Covering Sam then, yeah?
Yeah, because otherwise it'll be covering you.
Still trying to replace me.
Just here then.
How did I know that? How did I know that there's going to be an image somewhere in the air that's been projected by him?
Oh.
Have you caught Shane's disease and started to hear things?
I can't hear anything, but he is staring at me.
Oh my god, he is.
Okay, let us have a look at our Act 2. So as we'd left it, Caleb has woken up in the hospital. It's about 2-3 weeks after the attack. And he's being tended by a very British nurse, played by Jenny Agutter. And he's just suddenly had a visit from his two friends, Sonny and Bud, as undead. Come to warn him that he is a creature of the night and that he should really go and kill himself.
Indeed.
Yeah. This all takes place in the hospital room then?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of, I don't know why, but in my head I see Sonny as the kind of more dickish one. He's the one just going, kill yourself.
You know he's got that cap?
Yeah.
I want him to still have the cap, but with a huge bite mark out of it.
Oh yeah, that would be quite cool, yeah.
Yeah. That'd be quite a nice touch. And maybe, so I'm imagining Buddy's more like, well look, you're going to hurt people. It's not good.
So we get that scene, as we'll play out pretty much the same. I mean, Caleb's a lot more kind of physical than David. Do you think he might try and have a swing at them? I mean, I don't know what kind of condition he's in. He's still recuperating.
He's still at that, still in a lot of pain kind of state. But he would be like, get the hell out of here.
Mm-hmm. I think we might get something here as well with the sundry characters, the doctors and that might be a bit surprised. Because again, they're from an environment where animal attacks, wild animal attacks, are probably more common than they are, say, in the UK.
Absolutely, yeah.
So just the rate at which he's recovering is probably something of a mystery to them as well.
Yes.
Rather than the doctor in American Werewolf suddenly goes, oh, no, you're recovering fine. This is like, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
because in American Werewolf, it's a bunch of strange doctors, but these guys, probably his doctor since he was a
birth,
kid.
yeah.
So he's going to know there's something not right. So at this point, I have to ask, right, so we've got Alex. What are we doing with her? Because obviously, in American Werewolf, she takes him home, but he's got a home to go back to. So where did she play out into this scenario?
Caleb wants out of the hospital as soon as possible. He doesn't want to stay here, His dad might need him back on the ranch and this kind of thing. So wrangles a deal where he can get discharged early, but the doctor says, well, I still want to make sure that you're okay. Nurse, I can't remember her surname.
I
want to say
Price.
Price.
Alex
That's it.
Price.
Yeah, so Nurse Price will come round and check on you and change your dressings and things like that.
Right, so that's how we keep her involved in the story.
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
And that gives us our setup for them to be meeting for allow their romance to.
Well, that's it.
flourish from
So
there.
we still have the opportunity for the scenes where they're having those little intimate moments together and the feelings to start being feelings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Between Caleb and Nurse Price.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then he would go back home, and that's when we suddenly, goes out to feed the horses or whatever. And
The same way that the dog barks and the cat hisses, the horses
the horse.
freak out.
See, it's not just me.
Is that what you meant?
It's not just me.
We're not this bad normally, honestly.
I heard feed the horse and I heard one thing.
Oh
You
dear.
could turn it into that film if you want.
Our standards have sunk so low.
I know, but there was a certain.
So she's feeding the horse.
No, he's feeding. He's trying to feed the horse, but
Himself.
the horse,
Right.
but the horse is scared and runs away.
Yeah. I can imagine that would be a ferocious horse.
It would be.
You fed it.
Imagine his disappointment. Because it's his, because that's his favourite horse as well.
Yes. Horse needs a lot of feeding.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to keep going, trying to push through.
Stop it! Right, come on.
Yes.
Act 2.
Act 2.
So he's feeding the horse, yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
well, he's trying to.
trying to feed the horse, but the horses are acting weird. And
Yeah.
they're having none of it. Having none of it.
He obviously needs more cash. That's what he needs.
All right. Well, see, things are accelerating rather rapidly at this point. It's only a day or so before
Yes.
moonrise.
Because obviously David doesn't believe, and we're saying that Caleb doesn't believe as well.
That's what I would have gone ahead with. But
I mean,
Yeah,
I would have.
I think he's like David is at that point. He's like, oh yeah, but he's like, I'm a werewolf. Huh? You know, it's a hysterical joke. It's not.
yeah.
He's not taking it seriously. He's thinking, well, why wouldn't you think you were
Yeah.
hallucinating?
My only thinking with this is that I'm a little bit worried that when we get to the point when he turns, we don't want him turning at home because the first two people are going to get killed are his mum and his dad and his sister. I don't know, then possibly when he has that meeting with Sonny and Bud, do we want to have probably Bud say, yeah, see what happens when you go home? He goes home and all of the animals freak out around him.
But what if when he turns, he then goes out the window, his bedroom window or something like that, and then eats some horses? Instead of the dad and the daughter.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So that's like the first instinct that the werewolf does. It just goes out the window, maybe.
If dad and sister are at home, his first transformation is not going to be quiet. They would come in
No.
and see what's wrong with him.
Maybe they're not there. Do they have
Maybe
to be
they've
there?
been called out.
He's a vet, isn't he?
Yeah.
What would Thor be doing?
She seems to go everywhere with the dad, doesn't she?
Yeah, okay. So she can just go with him? That's...
And that would take them out of the house for the transformation.
That would make sense. That's the only other thing that I was running through my head was because he's still kind of trying to come to terms with the fact that he's, as far as the rest of the world knows, he's lost his two best friends. The horse that he has doesn't seem to be at the ranch. It seems to be somewhere else.
What are you talking about?
The horse where he the horse where he goes to take May.
Which is on the farm at the end of the movie.
Oh, it is on the front end of the movie. I forgotten that. It's just whenever we watch this, I haven't watched it again.
Right, yeah.
I only watched the first 2 acts because that's all I needed to know.
Very differently on the ranch.
Okay. So many of those scenes are the locations tend to be more symbolic. It's like you never see where he takes her at the start of the film. He just goes there, and then there's the paddock with the horse in it. You don't see the rest of the farm in that particular scene. That's why I can never kind of place if it was supposed to be at that farm, if they had it somewhere else. Forget
I
all about
understand what you're
it.
saying.
Cool.
No, it's the way the director shot the movie. A lot of those locations are just like they're blackness beyond them. So there's no setting. It's just a paddock or a field or...
Where he's drinking from May, and you've got the oil pumps behind them. And it's just like,
Pumps. Yeah.
stop it.
Oh, God.
So, obviously, if I've caught Shane's disease, he's obviously got my disease.
It would seem so. It would seem so. And me protecting myself with this book is not working.
And you're next to me as well, so
I think we're going to call it innuendoitis. Take Dad and Sarah out of it.
Out of the picture, they've gone off to one of the other farms to check on the cattle or something.
Yeah. We've moved on to the next day now, haven't we? Which is the night of the full moon, because we need one more visit from Jack. Oh, from these two before that night, because the second visit is the day of the night that he turns, isn't it?
the first visit is in the hospital, isn't it?
First visit in the hospital.
Yeah.
The second visit is the night before his first
That's
transformation.
right. Could it just be in his room then?
Yeah.
Be in the ranch home.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And that will end because who you're talking to, because they'd still be there that night.
Yeah, that night, yes.
Yeah. And then we move into the next day. Again, he's been there a couple of days now. It's certainly his dad at the very least, or possibly Sarah, would notice that the animals are being really skittish around him.
Right, okay, I'm going to ask this question because obviously we haven't addressed this. In American Werewolf in London, we had Dr. Hirsch. Do we have a suspicious doctor at this point?
I would have preferred to have put his dad in that role because his dad kind of fills an analogous role in Near Dark. He's the one has the impetus to go and investigate. I know it's his son, but he's the closest foil for Dr. Hirsch in Near Dark. So why introduce another character when we've already got his dad that we can, rather than being the guy who goes off on the road to try and find him.
Good point, yeah. Plus you want to keep it as simple as possible if you can.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Because again, he might be interested when all this information comes out. Or they say they were attacked by a wild animal. They don't find any trace of this wild animal.
Yeah, exactly. Does his dad go out and try to investigate the attack?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we have that scene. We have like Hirsch going to Proctor. Yeah. We've got that.
I mean, that could even be part of the reason why they're late back that night. He's got to go and see somebody else, but it takes them close to where they were attacked. So he wants to go and have a look. And it's a few weeks afterwards, or he wants to go and ask around and do a bit of investigating himself. And Sarah, he's taking Sarah with him because they're doing the job. So while we're in the area, let's go and investigate.
I'm talking rubbish because in this version of the story, he wasn't attacked by a lunatic, was he? He was attacked by a rabid coyote or something. So we don't have the same cover story. To investigate. No,
we don't. But I mean, if you want to play it up, that the claw marks themselves, they look like a wild animal, but don't look like any wild animal they've ever seen.
They go by. Won't the hospital be weary about maybe his fever, because they think it's just a bite, so surely, but his symptoms at the hospital is going to be more abnormal. If it's an actual creature that can't. I
mean, again, being a vet, these don't look like claw marks from any animal that we know.
Yeah. And it's like, why else are you having these? I don't know.
Yeah.
You get these. Your fever is through the roof.
All right. Okay. So I've got it. So Dad goes out to investigate the actual site of the attack, and even though it's been a few weeks, it's a dry, dusty place. Some of the tracks are still there.
Yeah.
And he's able to go, those are not coyote tracks. And then he's able to follow the tracks to the edge of the cliff.
And does some spelunking.
So maybe that's what happens. Maybe Dad finds out that it wasn't an animal.
Finds this human body that's been picked clean by coyotes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Good horrific scene as well.
Yeah.
No, Sarah, stay up there. Yeah, don't come down.
Whose idea was that? That was yours, wasn't it?
I think it was.
I would say give him a star, no?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh!
No. I agree. I think that, again, that's a combo one, because...
Okay.
Your idea about a replacement for Dr. Hirsch, my suggestion that he should be dead.
Oh, yeah.
He's right.
He is right.
He's right.
So should that be a... Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, Dad makes a horrific discovery at the bottom of some little canyon or something.
And meanwhile, during that day, we have a visit again from Alex to check up on Caleb at the farm, so we can have another intimate moment with them, but then obviously she leaves before nightfall.
Yeah.
Because, again, that's the reason why Dad feels happy to leave him there on his own, because he knows he's still recovering, but he knows Nurse Price is coming to check up on him that day.
Oh, of course, yes.
That's possibly the first moment where their intimacy is consummated.
Is this where we get our shower scene?
Yes.
Because you kind of have to have the shower scene.
Although it might be in a horse trough, I don't know.
I was a young boy. That was the first time I was like, oh yeah.
Yes.
I seriously had a thing for Jenny Agutter. But moving on, before we get creepy...
Yes, we get all of that. She goes off to do the rest of her rounds, or go back to the hospital, or whatever. He again then gets the rest of the day wandering around going that he's still not feeling hungry.
He can't go outside because the animals freak out.
Yeah.
So that keeps him in the house. Mm-hmm. Do we actually have him pick up a book?
Why not?
He don't turn into a reader.
Is the book going to be a book by Thomas Wolfe?
Oh, I would go Call of the Wild.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I'm sorry. But yes, that's a nice one. I like that. I like that.
Thank you for winning.
And then, obviously, we get the transformation. Thank you, Rick Baker, for some fantastic special effects.
Oh, the best ever.
As you say, I like that idea. Yeah, he leaps straight out the window and devours half of the livestock.
Yeah, of course he does. Yeah, that's
well,
his
may
first
not even be half of it, because that might be a bit too extreme. He could...
It would also... if he does the livestock as well, then we don't get any actual murders.
Well, I was just thinking it could have been like just one, and then that's what makes the animals maybe go away.
They stampede, they scatter, and
he kills one. The rest scatter. He chases them off into the night, and that's what leads them on to other
carrying
things.
on other things in the town.
Because of course, in American Werewolf in London, this is where we have the montage of death.
Which I'm saying, do we want to replace the montage of death in the town and just relocate the bar from Near Dark?
Well, you know the bar is like a roadhouse.
Yeah.
You notice there are no other buildings around it.
Exactly.
I was surprised not to see Patrick Swayze in that bar.
Roadhouse!
But yeah, we could then insert that location into this moment.
Are we going to just have a massacre at the roadhouse?
Yeah, I think what we could do with that then is maybe one of the guys goes outside or something from the bar, he gets got, and they go to investigate because they hear some shouts and screams, and then it just comes straight into the window and just tears everyone apart.
So, I mean, just for the sake of argument, because I like trying to make a bit of a neat script, they're out of ice, and the ice machine is outside the roadhouse or something, so it has to go around the side.
Yeah, like it. Because from here, we are, again, running very quickly towards the end of Act 2.
We are, yes, we are.
We get a bit of an aftermath, don't we? Because we've got the news obviously breaks about this random acts of senseless violence.
Let's go back. Let's go back to the beginning. Where does Caleb wake up?
Yes, I was thinking that as well. I don't know how close we want to cheek it, but again, we've already foreshadowed that there is a pack of coyotes in the vicinity.
So he wakes up like in one of the canyons, all curled up with all the coyotes.
Yeah.
Well, in a cave somewhere.
Yeah. I kind of like that. It's nice. It lends to the, like you say, the environment that we're in.
Yeah, because if he's not in the city, if he was in the city, for example, everyone would see him and just
But that's kind of nice because it also almost feeds back into that bit from the opening of Near Dark when he's staggering back towards the farm.
Yeah.
And falling over in the sunlight.
Yeah.
It's him kind of with like a bit of a bush or
his
something.
bits,
Yeah, with like a branch.
Picked up a tumbleweed.
Yeah.
But I'm going to argue that instead of going home, he goes to see Alex.
Yes.
Because he's scared. He knows something's wrong with him. He's really wrong with him.
He wouldn't just go,
and just go home and forget about it.
And then we can also then feed in with his dad, because obviously they get back to the farm. Animals are all missing. Something's happened here. Gets a call from the sheriff. We need you to come down to this roadhouse because there's been animal attacks, some kind of wild animal attack. He's the local expert. So again, so we can make sure that he
just
gets
feeds into it.
Yeah, so we can get sure that he's at the relevant locations.
More complicated third act than American Werewolf does.
It does.
Yeah. So he's not at home. He's run away to Alex. Maybe he's afraid that he's going to hurt someone.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want to go home, but he'll go to Alex because they've built up this thing and had their little moment.
So we're saying now that he believes, because obviously with David he doesn't. He just feels full of beans.
I think it's somewhere in between where he knows something has happened.
Yeah.
He just woke up in a bunch of coyotes.
Yeah.
That does not happen.
And these guys are perfectly okay with him.
Would he be having blood all over him?
No, because David doesn't either when he wakes up,
So
does he?
yeah, I guess not.
Do
So
the
he doesn't know he's killed anyone then.
He doesn't, but he knows something's horribly wrong.
Yeah. And then if we want to, we could do the simple trope of, oh yeah, let's see what's on the TV and it's on the local news.
This just in, a werewolf.
But that could serve as our replacement for the taxi driver that
Yeah.
mentions it.
While Alex is phoning the hospital saying there's something wrong, can I bring him in?
Yeah.
In the background, he's watching the news report and the massacre at the roadhouse.
That works.
Yeah, yeah.
At least in this version we do lose, because I didn't notice it until very recently. The taxi driver in American Werewolf in London is Bricktop.
I thought that was
Yeah, it
him!
is, yeah.
That is Top Brick! Oh,
Alan
I thought it was...
Ford, right?
That's his name, yes.
The greatest Cockney ever.
Yeah.
Oh, he's just a fucking amazing bloke.
Yeah.
He does not give one shit.
No.
Do we want to leave it there then, before deciding what David does, or what Caleb does? Because I know David jumps out the taxi and runs into Trafalgar Square and tries to get himself arrested. I think that's a nice place to call it for our Act 2.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like it.
Yeah.
He's seen it and he knows, oh shit, they were telling
That's
the
our,
truth.
yeah, that's our end of Act 2, clearly.
Awesome. So, we have managed to put this together in some shape or form, and it feels good. I'm really enjoying
It's
it.
not terrible, we haven't broken it yet, by any means.
So, as always, do please come back and join us next Wednesday when we will be looking at our final act of An American Werewolf in the Dark. Again, as always, what do you think? I mean, have we made the right decision? Would you have done it a different way? Please do let us know in the comments. It really does help.
As always, guys, you take care of yourselves. But yes, we do want to know. It gives us a clue, because we're making this up as we go along. So yeah, tell us what you think.
Until next week, then, take care.
As always, guys, GTFN.
Ba 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 ba.